down begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually preserved for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times and don't mess up the cash flow. We live.
What up? Raze back live again on this Wednesday, early morning, midnight live stream after a horrible, terrible New York Knicks loss to the Pacers in Game 4 out there inside Indiana. 130-121 was the final score. What a just horrific, sloppy game. Hit that like button, guys. You guys come in. Hit that like button as you guys come in. As I was watching that game, man, I was just taken aback at the sloppy play from both sides. You know, both teams played sloppy. Fourth quarter was sloppy. Third quarter was sloppy. The whole damn game was sloppy. It just a sloppy turnover fest. Now you could say, you know, as far as the Knicks, maybe the Indiana stepped up their defense, got a lot of forced a lot of turnovers, sloppy dribbling from the New York Knicks because of the defense of the Pacers. But really, both teams, you know, had their share of disgusting turnovers. But Knicks, they were trying to tie the series up. You know, there was a great win the last game, and they were trying to tie it up, bring it back to the Garden 2-2. Now they find themselves down 3-1, and it's a big hill to climb right now because the Knicks, they actually played better on the road during these playoffs than at home. Now you're coming back home. Now it's almost like, well, the Pacers got them right where they want them now, because now they could close them out in the Garden. And Tyrese Halliburton love playing in the Garden. You know, you see opposing teams love coming to the Garden, and their star player love putting on big shows. So you can look for Tyrese Halliburton to try to close out the Knicks on the Garden floor in front of Spike Lee. But, you know, like I said, man, just an awful, sloppy game. And the Knicks needed this. They needed the confidence going into the Garden 2-2, knowing that they don't really play. They play well at the Garden, but they can't close out. They don't close out well at the Garden as far as closing out the teams, the opponents at the Garden. And now being down 3-1, crazy pressure. That Garden crowd already, they were quiet in game 10 and game 2. They were just like nervous and just skittish in game 2. You know, even when the Knicks had like a 4-7 point lead, Knicks fans were quiet. They were nervous, and that was only game 2. Now this is elimination. Imagine if the Knicks get down early, or it'd be like kind of tied, or, you know, only like a 3-point game. Even if the Knicks are up in the fourth quarter, up by 3 or 4, that Knicks crowd, that Garden crowd, has to be more loud and show more confidence, because else I think the Knicks is just gonna falter and lose that game 5 in the Garden. But they did a great job of getting the game 5 in the Garden, at least after those horrible losses at the Garden to begin with, game 1 and 2. But like I said, just a piss poor officiated game also. The officials in the game, I mean, just so many fouls, so many just whistles. It was just tedious to watch, actually. Very tedious to watch. I don't know what the NBA could do to try to, get more pace and get more flow to the game. Maybe tell the referees to, do not blow so many foul calls, too many tick-tack calls, away from the ball, fouls, just stops the flow of the damn game. I'm like, oh my God, this is just like unwatchable. You know what I mean? But as far as the stats, Anunoby had 22 points. Good showing. Towns, 24. Jalen Brunson, 31. Mikal Bridges, now he had 17, but he missed a lot of open threes. He got to do better. He really do. He has been pretty bad of the last 3 games in this series. Hart had a horrible game. At one point he had about 4 straight turnovers. Just throwing the ball away, just killing any momentum. And the Knicks were making a comeback, he would do something dumb and throw the ball away. Just like, and I'm just sitting there like, what the hell are these guys doing on the court? Like, throwing the ball away, acting like they can't dribble the ball. They don't know how to pass the ball. I'm like, is the Indiana defense that great, or is it just mental, concentration, or just nerves that is getting into the Knicks players? So that was disgusting to watch. All them turnovers. But here's the box score for the Pacers. What's that? Siakam 30 points. Yeah, Siakam had a great game. Hit some big shots in the fourth quarter. Clutch shots in the fourth quarter. Naismith with 16 points. Turner 13. Tyrese Halliburton had himself a monster game, 32 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds and 0 turnovers, which was a monster game for him. Mathurin added 20 points for the Pacers. And here we are right now. We just here. I guess, the Knicks fans have another game at the Garden, which is good for the Knicks fans. They've supported the team for the whole year and the whole season, and they've been rabid fans. But now it's looking like it's about to come to an end, unfortunately, because I have zero faith the Knicks are going to win that game at home. They can win it, but with the history of the Knicks at home, it's no guarantee that they're going to win that game. And it's looking like Indiana will be making their way to the finals, because even if the Knicks win 2 straight, one at home, go back to Indiana and win, and then come back home, I still don't trust they could win at home. I mean, they have a history of not winning at home, But like I said, my biggest issue with this game tonight was the turnovers, just left and right. It was just like bad. Let me see if I can bring this stat up. Horrible turnover amounts. We had for the Knicks had 17 turnovers. 17 turnovers, guys. You can't win. How you going to get to the finals doing 17 turnovers? You know what I'm saying? 17 turnovers. Pacers had 11 steals, and the Knicks did have 7 steals themselves. Like I said, Pacers did get a little sloppy also. But it just, now here was the thing it just killed me with the refs. The refs are just awful, god awful. 27 fouls for the Knicks and 27 fouls for the Pacers. I mean, that's just it became a tedious chore watching this game. Too many fouls, too many free throws. NBA has to, and I know people don't like me complaining about this, but holy hell, NBA must do something about the whistle. Every time whistle, and then now they added the challenges with it. It's like now everybody want to go. We got to look at the replay in the first quarter, the first few minutes of the game. They want to look at the replay, and it just slows down the flow. It just kills the pace. Sometimes you get a little back and forth exchange, and then somebody try to set a screen and then foul, or somebody chasing somebody around and then they grab the shirt, foul. It's like it just become back to back to back, and it's hard to watch for the love of God. And that's why I was telling my friend, I was like, hey, I can watch the playoff games, but still, it's tedious. In the regular season, that's why I stick to watching the full game highlights. Full game highlights, I can watch them in like seven minutes, without all of the fouls and all of the free throws. And it's just a much smoother game to watch that way than to watch a live NBA game during the regular season. I can't do it. It is awful because Adam Silver, the commissioner, he has to, for the love of God, he has to hear my cries and other fans' cries. Even Stan Van Gundy on the broadcast, he was complaining about some of the fouls that was called. They were like, "Look, this is that should be a play on." Even Reggie Miller. Now Reggie Miller was, he was still coaching up his Pacers, but he was even like unbiased as far as some of the calls that went against the Knicks. He was like, nah, that wasn't a foul. Just like you gotta, don't call that. You know what I mean? And I've been saying that for the past 15 seasons, probably 18 seasons. The NBA has too many ticky-tack fouls, and it's just like awful. It becomes a free throw shooting contest, and it just bad to watch. You know what I'm saying? So Adam Silver have to come up with a plan to stop that. What up, Where's Milano? Hit that like button. Like I said, Knicks are down 3-1 or 1-3, however you want to say it. But unfortunately, they are down. I don't, I'm not going to say they can't win a game 5 because they are home. But like I said, I mean, what good is home? What good is all the celebrities out there? And you have a bad track record of winning inside the world's most famous arena. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I'm sorry. It's not looking good, guys. I mean, it's not. It was going to be a tough hill. Once they went down 0-2 anyway, by losing the first 2 at home, it was going to be a tough hill to climb for them anyway. They did a good job winning that other game. Got 2-1, game 3. But it was always going to be tough after losing the first 2 games at home. Always. Backpack Val in the building. Give me one good reason not to crash the F out Razer. You know what? I would say this, bro. Go ahead and crash out. I can't give you no reason because Backpack Val, because it was just so sloppy. It was embarrassing. And Hart was he was just a disgrace. Hart was just like, it was like he had no court vision. Just poor turnover at the poor turnover when the Knicks would try to make a couple of, back-to-back buckets or really try to, lessen the gap of the score, in the third quarter. He would just like do some stupid, just bonehead. But they all did. Even Brunson had a couple of turnovers that was like mind-boggling. He was like, what the hell is going on out there? Then you start thinking, well, should this team even be in the finals playing that way? Looking so sloppy. Looking so awful. Now, I do know OKC, who is the odds-on favorite, is up 3-1 now. They lost by like 40 points the other day, and now they just won last night. So I understand people, even a championship favorite team can have an awful game. But that was awful. Losing by 40, that was awful. It didn't come back and beat Minnesota. That lets you know right there, damn well you wasn't supposed to lose that game by 40. You know what I'm saying? You could lose the game, but not by 40 points. You know what I mean? Y'all not that bad to that, you can't lose that game by 40 points. I mean, you can, but it's like, what am I watching? Y'all, that means y'all just quit. Once y'all got down, you be like, we up 2-0, we good. So y'all just quit. Y'all just said, and I don't like that. Fight back. So I do give credit to the Knicks for being down 20 the other game in game 3 and coming back and did not just say, you know what, no mas, Roberto Duran, no mas. So I give them credit for that. But always gonna be a tough climb. And like I said, the Knicks haven't played awful the series except for this game. This game, I hated this game. This game was awfully played, awfully officiated. Referee is awful. But the first 2 games, Knicks could have actually won both of them. You know what I mean? They played good enough to win both of them. Like I said, I just don't know what they're going to do with this officiating. Now, I can't 100% blame the officials because they are giving orders. They are giving orders to blow that whistle because obviously the NBA Rules Committee, they know, they can hear. It's social media age. They know fans complaints. They know that we complain about the amount of foul calls and the amount of 3-point shots. So however way these officials are officiating is coming down from the office. it seemed like these officials be ready to blow that whistle. You know, if it's people just like too close to each other, if it looks a little bit too physical, people getting positioned down low in the paint, it's like, all right, they're gonna call a foul. They're gonna call a foul, and that's not stuff we want to see. That is awful basketball to watch. Awful, awful. There's no flow. There's no flow in the game. Like there's no back and forth. You know, if the referee is going to continue to blow that a whistle every other play, it becomes a free throw shooting contest at that point. You paid your money. I know you backpack out. You pay your money to see free throws all night. You know, you know, awful, it's disgusting, and I'm tired of it. Like I said, I can't watch the regular season. I can watch the full game highlights. That's it. Yeah, I cut all of the commercials out, basically, and really the foul calls. Absolutely zero flow for the viewing public. What up? What up, Trill Johnson? Yeah, you know, I'm just saying, man, the Knicks, man, down 3-1. And they had the home court advantage, which it hurts more. It hurts more because they had the better record. So you would think, well, of all the years, you take out the Celtics, Tatum got hurt, you take them out. You probably would have beat them anyway. You get home court against the Pacers, who you lost to last season. And now you find yourself down 3-1 and you had the home court advantage. So that's disappointing. Very, very disappointing, you know, for Knicks fans, of course, you know. But again, they're going to come out at the Garden. They're going to try to be energetic. But I'm telling you, I know they are going to, if it's a replay of game 1 and 2, they are going to be very, very nervous, because now this is an elimination game. And they were nervous in that game too. And that wasn't even an elimination game. You know, they were on their hands, quiet as church mice. They were scared. Pack them up, says Chip. Chip says, pack them up. Pack them up. I won $17.90 today off a parlay. Well, congratulations, Pratty. Where you going? You booking a flight with that, Pratty? Are you gonna gamble it back? What you gonna do? You gonna gamble it back? Don't give it back, bro. Don't give it back. Do something with that money, man. Do something with that money. Don't give it back. Don't go gamble it back, bro. Then what was the point of you winning it if you're gonna just put it back into something? You know what I mean? Go buy you something nice or go take a trip. You know what I'm saying? But that's that money you won. Don't give it back, bro. That's how gambling is. You win it, then you just give it right back. Especially if you stay. If you stay in that same betting hall or casino, you always give what you win back. If you don't leave, you know, the house always wins. Even when you think you're winning, they are slowly take it right back if you stay. You know what I'm saying? Or if you return back the next day or the next few days with that money, with that purse you won, they take it back. They're gonna get their money back. Raze or the Knicks going back to the Garden. Yeah, they're going back to the Garden for game 5. They're going back. You know. Which is, you know, like I said, you know, it might be false hope now, you know, if they win, that they got great. But hey, at least it's basketball. It's something for the city to get excited about still, because you have another game, you know, another playoff game, you know, something for people to do on Thursday. The game's gonna be Thursday night, 8:00, and we'll see if the Knicks can prevent the Pacers from coming in on their home court and just eliminating them. You know, say, you know, you gotta be like this. We're going to not allow the Pacers to celebrate on our home court. You know what I'm saying? Have some pride. Like, we're not going to allow them to celebrate on our home court. You know, if they beat us, they're going to have to beat us in Indiana and celebrate in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? T-Rex, the only New York team that had a championship is New York Liberty. Oh, man. Hey, and you know, WNBA, they took a hit too with Caitlin Clark being hurt for two weeks. I was like, oh, man. I mean, I would look at her full game highlights also. But as soon as I was getting into that, she goes down. I think with a knee injury or something. And I'm like, oh, my God. Just teeter. Yes, it just kills. It just, yeah, the NBA just got to do something about these fouls, man. I don't know if y'all agree with me. They got to do something. They just too many fouls. How do y'all watch the games consistently? Like anybody that watch the NBA in the regular season, right? Do y'all actually sit there and watch those regular season games throughout? You know how? Like it is tedious to watch. For the love of God, so many fouls. Oh my goodness. You know, from what I remember, they don't even call that many fouls in the NCAA. You know, they don't call that many fouls. They let them play, you know. Listen, I don't mind. See, if the game is a little sloppy, the turnovers, right? Which is, I don't really mind that, the turnovers as much, if you're not blowing a whistle, you know, as many times you blew it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, at least there's some free flow, some back and forth, even if the ball is getting kicked around and knocked around, you know, I like the bad news bears, or, you know what I'm saying? At least stoppage of play is not killing the energy, the free flow of my viewing. Nowadays, you know, we got, you know, poor attention spans these days, you know, or short attention spans with social media and everything. I don't need to sit there and watch that if you're going to be, you know, just sending people to the line and just, I mean, some contact has to be goddamn made. Please, Adam Silver, do something. Stop this garbage. That game was and that's a playoff. I'm watching the playoff game. I'm watching it live. Big game for the Knicks. And it was hard to really watch. It was over officiated. It was overly officiated. It was not a fun game to watch. That was not fun to watch. And not just because of the Knicks lost. Even if the Knicks would have won, it still wouldn't have been a fun game to watch. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they would have made that run in like the last 3 minutes. All right, but like the last 3 minutes was fun. You know, but even then, you know, that and then every time they want to do they be like, we got to do the replay. We got to challenge. You know, every time they be like, oh no, it didn't go off. It didn't go off my knee. You know, it went off Halliburton. We got to. In the first quarter, they doing that. First quarter, I'm like, overly officiated. This sucks, Auto Will. Yeah, well, you know, it was always gonna be a tough climb, tough mountain to climb, Auto Will. You know, unfortunately, but you know, but like I said, at least I can't go back on more because at least they do have a game 5 at the Garden, and you know, at least you're gonna give the Knicks fans another at least playoff game that they can have some hope, false hope, right? But it's some hope that they can win, you know what I'm saying, come back and make a comeback like the Warriors blew the 3-1 lead to the Cavs in the finals, you know what I mean, to LeBron and Kyrie. So there's that, you know, there's that. People going to be looking at that, like it can happen. At least the Knicks are not down 3-0 going back to the Garden, you know. I don't think, but they couldn't have been 3-0 going back to the Garden, actually. It was no way. It would have been always 3-1. So, yeah, I mean, it would have been better being 2-2. But, you know, it is what it is. And tip your hat to the Pacers, though. Tip your hat to them. You know, Halliburton had a crazy game, you know. But even Halliburton's game, his triple double, I mean, the stat line said it was a great game. I mean, I guess, but I didn't really feel it that he was having a all-time game like that. That was like a Oscar Robertson type game, a Joker type game. And this, but we looked at the stat sheet. We're like, wow, wow, you know what he had. Let me see again. Let me see what he had again. He had yeah, he had 32 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds and 0 turnovers. You know. Mm. Just drinking some beer right now, guys. Thursday night, we'll be back at the I don't know. I might go live from the Garden on that night. I'll wear the Brooklyn Nets hat just to troll some fans. I don't know, but I'll be rooting for the. I'm gonna root for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Hard. You know, I've been rooting for the Knicks hard this playoff. So like I said, I get jumped out there if I wear this. You know, it's a home game. A lot of Knicks fans gonna be out there. They're gonna be drinking and getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? So I already know that. If I go out there with this hat, I'm gonna get jumped. Definitely. Especially if they win the game, and I'm out there. I'm gonna tell you, the Knicks fans, they get more violent when they win the game. Because when they lose, they be leaving the Garden all peaceful and quiet. It's when they win, that's when all hell breaks loose. You know what I'm saying? Hopping off of poles, climbing poles, you know, waving Knicks shirts and everything. That's when they get dangerous. You know, especially if you wear another team jersey or hat out there. And that, I mean, I might do a social experiment and wear my Nets gear out there. I won't buy an Indiana jersey and wear it out there. But this is gonna be a social experiment. I'll wear my Brooklyn Nets gear. I'll get a Brooklyn Nets shirt real quick, and wear this hat and go out there at the Garden. See what happens. Social experiment. What y'all think gonna happen? Will Raze die on Thursday night at the Garden? Get jumped. I get jumped. Let me see what y'all saying. Let me run through y'all chats. The unforced turnovers absolutely kill you. Yeah, awful. It was like watching high school junior varsity play. You know what I'm saying? High school junior varsity play, Desmond. Embarrassing. Thought you like to short blow the whistle. Thought you like to short blow the whistle. Thought you, what that mean? No, I hate, no, come on. That's Ken, that is crazy pause right there. That is insane pause. Big time pause right there, Ken. Knicks choked again. Now, I can't call this a choke. I just call this a sloppily played, awful game. Awfully officiated. Tedious to watch. Horrendous basketball. Horrendous. They couldn't take because the Indiana Pacers been in the spurt when they were like turning the ball over themselves too. And then the Knicks would come back and couldn't take advantage of their turnovers. And then they would turn the ball right back. You know what I'm saying? You know, they were playing hot potato with the ball, with the basketball tonight. Both teams, actually. You know? Both teams were playing hot potato with that ball. Yeah, but it wasn't like Indiana was like crazily forcing those turnovers. It was just like dumb, stupid passes, trying to go too quick. They get yourself caught up in the middle and then try to pass out. You know, they're sloppy. I mean, I'm not saying the Knicks didn't try hard. They tried hard. They tried hard. It was a close enough game throughout the night. You know, it was just sloppy. They tried hard. I'm not gonna say Coach Tibbs. Like I said, I would extend Coach Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? I would give him 5 more years to the chagrin of some Knicks fans that don't like Coach Tibbs. I would extend Coach Tibbs, but I would give Coach Tibbs an extension. Like I said, the Knicks haven't been doing nothing in since 25 years. They haven't been to the East Finals. You know, now some of you guys want to fire Coach Tibbs, you know, after the first time he gets the Knicks to the finals after 25 years. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. That's disrespectful. I'm giving Coach Tibbs I'm gonna give him a new contract and a raise. You know what I'm saying? Because look at all of the coaches James Dolan done hired and fired over the years. So you know, I mean, you might as well give the guy that first time in 25 years got the Garden rocking, got New York City in a buzz with a chance to go to the finals. You might as well give that money to this guy. You know what I'm saying? To Coach Tom Thibodeau. You know, you throw money in the trash anyway. Remember Jerome James, that contract? I never forget that Jerome James contract. Eddie Curry. Hey, and I loved Amari for the first half of that season he signed, but you gave him at like what's that, 118 million, and it was uninsured. It wasn't even insured with his history of injuries. You gave him. Nobody else is going to give Amari a uninsured contract. They would have signed him to a big contract, but not uninsured. You know. Had the merry-go-round of coaches. We went to the Phil Jackson debacle with the him being the team president. Isaiah Thomas years. You know, I love Larry Brown. Larry Brown years is awful. You know, Coach Woodson. Who else? Derek Fisher. Oh my God. Just so many. It's making my stomach turn thinking about all of these disastrous, choices. Mike D'Antoni. The reason I didn't like D'Antoni because it was just zero defense. They didn't. They played absolutely zero defense. Hit that like button. If the NBA lets a series go to 7 games, it will be the Knicks series. You would think, but yeah, it just if that's the one thing that Adam Silver got to fix is fix the game for the Knicks to win. If you're gonna, you do something. I mean, don't have the referees going out there making all these wild, idiotic calls, slowing up the pace of the game, making the game unwatchable for the viewing public at home. You know what I'm saying? And did not have it be a go to a game 7 at least. At least if you're gonna have the referee do all that foul calling and stuff, make it to where they're doing that to make sure the Knicks get to a game 7 at least. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have the referee doing all these horrible foul calls, I mean, it's just annoying as hell, man. It's hard to watch. Awful. And in a playoff game. So imagine if this was just a regular Monday night, in a regular season. You know what I'm saying? In November, regular night in November, a December game. I wouldn't have watched this nonsense. I would have just waited and watched the full game highlight because I already know or I could already predict how that game would have been with the pattern of how the referee call all the NBA games. That's why I can't watch the regular season like that. I only go watch the highlights, the full game highlights on YouTube. Knicks ready for Cancun, Raze. Don't make excuses for them. Hey, I'm not making excuses for them at all. I just said that they didn't quit. They didn't get blown out by 40. Now, when teams get blown out by 40, that means they just pack it up. They're like, They came back by 20. They came back from 20 again, third time. I just think, and that's another thing about Tibbs. I think he's getting the most out of this team. He's getting the most he can out of this team. I don't think the Knicks are a great team by any stretch of the imagination. I think Tibbs is he has the cloth, and you know how you wring the cloth when it's wet, and you try to just squeeze all of the water out of the cloth. You know, just squeeze. He's squeezing everything he can out of this Knicks team. You know, I don't think they're a great team. And I like the Pat Riley Knicks teams wasn't great teams. Pat Riley did all he can with that team. You know what I'm saying? And these type of coaches, you got to know basketball. You got to know you got to know to keep these type of coaches. You wasn't getting rid of Pat Riley because he didn't win a title with the Knicks. You know, he left himself. Pat Riley left. You know, now they say he was a weasel doing that. Leaving to the Miami Heat. You know, but you know he left. Knicks wasn't firing Pat Riley. Knicks wasn't going to fire Pat Riley. And the Knicks shouldn't get rid of Thibodeau. Even if the Knicks never win a title, if they can make a finals and keep having runs, Eastern Conference Finals, that's great for the basketball in the city, great for the Knicks. And if they can make one finals, great. You know what I'm saying? Considering the Knicks they've been awful for the past like 15 years overall, for the most part. Haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals or Finals in 25 years. I mean, gotta appreciate what you have. So stop being spoiled and just want people fired, you know, because they lose a series. I was disgusted when I was at the Garden and I was hearing that in my chat. I was saying that. I was like, come on. Y'all want Sam Cassell. Sam freaking Cassell, the coach, to take over for Coach Tom Thibodeau, Coach Tibbs. Nope, I'm giving Tibbs a extension. I'm giving, just for those comments, I'm giving Coach Tibbs an extension. Yeah. Do you get angry when you eat food? That's an odd question. A very odd question. I get happy when I eat food, actually. I grow. I eat and I grow. I eat and I grow. I get angry when I don't eat food. I get angry when I don't eat food. You know, I told you to bet on them game 3. The fix is in. So you said the fix is in? Chip? Punta Cana on 3. How you doing? How you doing, Jim D's? Punta Cana is him. Punta Cana is him. DR overall is him. You know, I know people are kind of tired of DR overall. For the people that have been going to DR for years and over. Of course, if you go, you know, if you go to one place, if you go to some place over and over again, you'll get tired of it eventually, right? You would think, you know, especially if you start trying new places. It's always good to take a break from certain places and then go back and you're like, okay, I remember I like this place. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let a place breathe sometime. Yeah, it was an ugly loss, horrible, ugly, disgusting loss that pissed me off, Smoothville. And not really the loss that so pissed me off. It's the officiating of the NBA in general. Nasty work, bro. Nasty work. And I've been saying this for years. I mean, I haven't been really covering the sports on the channel, but I do watch the NBA, and like I said, this is why I had to watch it in full game highlights. The officiating is horrendous. And like I said, I can't blame the refs because they're giving orders from the NBA official the hierarchies. You know, Adam Silver's, the rule committees to make these calls. And they hear us, they hear our complaints and our gripes, and they continue to have their referees go out there and then every year it seems like they add new rules for the referees to officiate. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're easing up the rules. Like, all right, let's loosen it up a bit, let the players play a little more. No, they coming in every year, they adding new rules for the players. You know what I'm saying? And thus, you know, even more excuses for those referees to blow that whistle and kill the momentum of the game and the flow of the game. That's unwatchable. That's not good. That's not good TV. Halliburton dismantled them again. He had 32, 15, and 12. You know, he's trying to prove that he's not overrated because they played them out. You know, his fellow players played them out to why he's overrated. You know what I'm saying? His fellow NBA players voted him most overrated. You know, dude, no Big Super tomorrow. Oh yeah, with the Diddy stuff, the Diddy trial. Well, shout out to Big Super. He just happened to be inside the courtroom, and he seen I was live. He said, "Hey, he want to come on." So I had to let Big Super on. Yeah, but now, like he said, Diddy's not good. See, Big Super, you know, he said he was in that courtroom. He seen the facts of the case, and if he was a juror, he said he would find Diddy not guilty. So you know, you know, but it was cool for him coming on because he was inside the courtroom. You know, he was in the courtroom and actually seen Diddy. He seen the testimony. So that was just a coincidence. And that it was cool to have him on, actually. You know, players afraid to play defense. It's despicable. The NBA, yeah, and you can't complain about these players don't play defense because why should they play defense if you're gonna call a whistle? If you're gonna call a whistle on every play, then I'm like, well, I can't really complain about this guy have zero defense because if he overplays his man, they're gonna blow that whistle. And then I'm gonna complain about, look, this guy is stupid for actually fouling him. Why you playing him so hard? Well, he's trying to play defense. The NBA seems like they don't even want you to play defense with the amount of whistles they blow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they want kind of like artificial scoring, which is backfiring to me. Is backfiring because yeah, the scores are higher than in the 90s, but it's the amount of fouls that's being called makes it kind of like unwatchable half the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's kind of like inflated. It's like I'd rather lower scoring game if you just let the players play and allow some contact. You gotta allow some contact. At least the contact that don't have anything to do with the shot. You know, all of that away for the ball stuff, it just kills the flow. It's tedious to watch. I don't understand. It's just common sense. How can people sit down and watch that? Like it gets boring watching that. Whistle, just like over and over again. It's not entertaining. Knicks let me down. Yeah, still on tour. Yeah, I mean, I don't see us winning 3 straight. Yeah, and you see still on tour. You being realistic. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping they could tie this up, and they had a chance. They wasn't out the game. You know, they were trying to make runs, but they would get sloppy and turn the ball over. You know, just silly turnovers. You know, and unforced a lot of times. You know, but I can't say they didn't try. They tried. You know, they just, whatever the talent they got, they trying to, utilize the talent they have. You know what I'm saying? I congratulate them on a nice season though. You know what I mean? We'll see if they can like push it back. Let's just say this, like, don't let Indiana, embarrass you on your home court and celebrate and pop the champagne in the Garden. You know what I'm saying? Salute, Rolling Travelers. How you doing? Hope all is well with you, Rolling. You know what? I wasn't gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link if anybody want to come up and discuss this for a couple of minutes. I was gonna drop the link. I was gonna ramble and complain about the NBA officiating and all the goddamn fouls, but I got another beer left, so I don't want to drink alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to drink alone, so I go ahead and wear a Sasua hat to the garden. Well, at least I won't get jumped. Listen, y'all want me to go? I'm gonna wear this hat. I'm gonna go out to the garden and go live and wear this hat on Thursday. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna do a social experiment, see if I get jumped out there. See if my fellow New Yorkers will have some respect for another fellow New Yorker, even though I'm wearing a Brooklyn Nets hat. Will my fellow New Yorkers show me some brotherly love and not harass me and not beat me up? Social experiment. Why was Finger Shop demolished? I did see the video. I will have an update on Finger coming over the next week. When I get 100% details of what's going on out there. When I get everything that I need to know, then I have an update on Finger on next week, in like a week. Give me a few days. And for people that was wondering about Pastor Dog, he is alive and he is inside the USA right now, from what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Knicks fan, but no one wants to see the Pacers in the finals. Well, you can't say no one, but you can, because the Indiana fans want to see. Hey, Jay Rello want to see him, out there. Gary, Indiana fans want to see them. But, I guess Adam Silver in the NBA, I don't know if they would want to see him because, like I said, the rating is going to just it's a small market, obviously. So nothing against Indiana, the team. It's just the market, you know what I mean? The smaller market. Of course, they would rather the New York market, the New York media, and the size of the New York fan base be a part of the NBA Finals. Of course, that's just common sense. Hallie balling. The refs were saying guys who were saving guys who took bad shots. Yeah, and that and sometimes the guys were tripping on their own, and then the refs bail them out by calling a foul. And it's like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? What is this? Like, that's not entertainment right there. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of getting on a flight to lose? Just stay home. You mean to lose in Indiana? Because pride, and they're getting paid $100 million a year too, Ken Patmore. You know what I'm saying? At that, you getting paid all that money to play this game. I expect you to at least try. I don't care if you got to go back on a flight to lose. You getting compensated well. A few $100,000 for the game. You know what I'm saying? You getting compensated very well to hop on that flight and go back to Indiana. You know what I mean? Win this game in New York and enjoy your and if you lose in Indiana, you can enjoy your mansions when you go back, when you lose. You know what I'm saying? You'll be okay. You'll have a whole summer off, before you got to go back to training camp. Plus, it'd just be a bad look for them to get embarrassed in the home court. To lose all three at games at home, that's a bad look for the Garden, for the mystique of the Garden, the world's most famous arena. It's like it'd be a home court disadvantage. And the Knicks don't really want that reputation. You know what I'm saying? You would think they would want to turn that around and start winning some games in the playoffs at home. The Knicks will win the next one at home. Well, hey, I like your spirit. Alonzo. Hey, I like your spirit, Alonzo. And and shout out to you, Alonzo. And I'm not here. I just said, look, I think the Knicks is, No, you know what? Because if you're a fan, uh, you have to have some faith, right? I'm not expecting hardcore Knicks fans to just say, you know what, yeah, just don't go back on a plane. Just, why go back on a plane to Indiana? I expect Knicks fans to, like, you know what, go out there and root hard. You got to go root hard, Alonzo, though, because the Knicks fans in that garden have been scared. They've been scared and quiet. They've been nervous as hell. I've noticed, in these games, and they just gotta let it all out, let it fly in that crowd tomorrow. I'm not saying throw things on the court when I say let it fly. I mean let your chants fly. You know what I'm saying? Not the sodas, not the pretzels. Don't be throwing stuff on the court. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let it fly as far as your energy. And even if it's a close game, you can't be quiet. You know what I mean? You can't be nervous. You can't. You come on. You can't do that because you're just helping the opponents when you do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to give Indiana hell in that garden on Thursday night. I know all too well about giving your winnings back. Oh, yeah, giving your winnings back to the casinos. And, yeah, you win some money and then you give it right back. You know what I mean? Then you start looking like a loser. You start feeling like a loser. You know what I mean? You feel like you got taken advantage of by the casino. You know what I mean? I withdrew it from FanDuel already. Going to pay down debt. Okay, congratulations. Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do. That's what you do. Don't deposit it back into FanDuel because people take it out. Yeah, you can withdraw it. Don't be tempted to deposit it back in tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Do another bet. Go right on and pay down that debt. You know what I'm saying? Don't be tempted to put it right back inside FanDuel because that temptation could be there. Mm-hmm. Halliburton cooking them boys, says 3D Reticle. He cooking them boys, trying to prove he's not the most overrated player. Brunson has not been clutch. He has made some shots. Brunson has made some shots in the fourth quarters. Brunson has made some shots in the fourth quarters. It's just that Indiana has too. It's not like it. Now he missed the three, but that's just one shot to tie the game. But he made a lot of clutch shots in that game too. That he missed the three. So Brunson hasn't been scared. He's been making some big shots in the fourth quarter. It's just that Indiana they've been matching Brunson with the clutch shots also. You know what I'm saying? Do another collab with Kid Greatness, KG. Oh yeah, well, I mean, he's still in the area. If he's still in the area, I think he's in Jersey right now. But shout out to Kid Greatness for coming out here and putting up on Raze, and well, I pull up on him because he was gonna be out here anyway. But shout out to Kid Greatness and his channel. That was fun, walking around the city, Lower Manhattan, which I don't go there much at all. So it's kind of new to me going out there and hanging out actually. Normally I just, probably ride by there, that area. But to hang out over there, walk around with Kid Greatness, that was fun. And Kid Greatness, very cool kid. Very nice hanging out with him. And yeah, I see big things for Kid Greatness. He's young, he's energetic, and yeah, I see big things on YouTube from Kid Greatness coming in the future. So subscribe to Kid Greatness channel, guys. And isn't Gary closer to Chicago than Indianapolis? Yeah, but like I said, you have some transplanted you have people root like Jersey and New York. You know what I'm saying? That dynamic. The New York Giants and New York Jets literally played in Jersey for years, in the Meadowlands. And they called the New York teams. They called New York teams. You know what I'm saying? But they literally played in Jersey. Like it needs to be looked into why this team collapses during crunch time, says Caleb Banks. Thank you, Caleb Banks, for pulling up here. Yeah, it's but they have clutch players. Like, well, Brunson is a very clutch. He's been doing his thing. It's just that Indiana, Kayla, it seems like that Indiana is matching the clutchness of Brunson. And Brunson he's played great. He had like another 30-point game, right? 34 tonight, I believe, something like that. Now he had some stupid turnovers throughout the whole game, which pissed me off, but Brunson, for his height and everything, I love Brunson, man. I love Brunson. I respect that man. It's just that the Pacers have shown that they are just as clutch overall as a team. Halliburton too. Halliburton is clutch too. But as a team, the Pacers have shown that they are just as clutch as the clutch player of the year, Brunson. So that's the issue the Knicks are running into. The first two games, Knicks should be up to a 2-0. Knicks could have been up 2-0. Before the game 3. Now this game was so sloppy. I'm not gonna say they should have won this game at all. They could have. I mean, it was close enough for them to steal the game. It was close enough for them to steal it. But this game was just so frustrating to watch. It was so poorly played by the Knicks. I was like, yeah, y'all just deserve to lose this. I mean, it was there to steal because Pacers didn't play all that great themselves at all. So, but Kayla, what you think about Tom Thibodeau? Should they fire Tom Thibodeau? Wide open layups and open threes. Like, where is the defense? Now, the thing is with the defense, now I'm not going to put that on the players, Caleb Banks, like I said earlier, because I believe the NBA, this goddamn Adam Silver, with the way he allows the officials to blow that whistle and call every foul known to man, I believe the players, they can't play defense. They're not allowed to play defense because if you get too close, they try to, obviously you're going to bump into these. You can't avoid bumping another human when you're playing on the basketball court. We all play basketball. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know about you, Kayla. Did you play basketball? You probably did play basketball. But we all play basketball. It's hard not to touch somebody when you're playing basketball. If the referee's going to call a foul every time you touch somebody, you can't play defense. So I don't blame the players. I blame the league in a way they're enforcing and telling the officials to blow that whistle. That discourages the players to try to play defense. They still be trying, and I be getting mad by why you fouled this guy right there, knowing how the referees call it. But really, it's like their instinct is to try to swipe at the ball and try to get a steal or try this and try that because their natural manly instinct is to try to play defense. But when the refs keep blowing that whistle, it's like now you got to back off. Now you get foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? I was telling my friend the other day that maybe if the referee's going to call so many fouls and the NBA wants them, maybe you got to start giving the players 7 fouls before they foul out because we can't be having the stars. It's the NBA is a star-driven league, and you can't be having your stars in foul trouble and going to the bench. People don't pay tickets to see the backups play. You know what I'm saying? We want to see the stars on the floor. It's boring when the star player is inside foul trouble. It takes away from your product. The stars is what makes you the money. That's why they get paid the big bucks. If they're not playing because of foul trouble or always it's like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's not fun to watch as a fan. But I'm just a common sense type of person. Maybe I'm just making too much sense. Maybe I'm just being too logical. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Raze, you got look at Major League Baseball. They made so many changes. Major League MLB is not scared. They are not afraid to make changes to change with the times. You know what I'm saying? And adjust to people's viewing patterns and people's habits of ingesting entertainment. They know they are competing with YouTube. They know they are competing with Instagram and TikTok. And everybody's attention spans is shorter. So the Major League Baseball had to make some adjustments to speed up the game. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the purists don't like it, but they said, look, we got to be proactive. We can't just sit there and hear people complain and not do nothing. NBA have to do something about this. It's just too many fouls. Way too many fouls. And it just pisses me off every time I watch the game. And they be like, oh, Raze, why you keep complaining about the fouls? Because I've been complaining for the past 15 years about the fouls. For the past 15 years, just too many fouls, too many free throws, too much stoppage. And it seemed like they're doubling down on it. It's getting worse. And it just ruining my joy of watching the games. I can only watch the full game highlights. Like I said, I've been tuned in watching these playoff games, though, from the start to the finish. But watching them, I realized in the regular season, now I remember why I watched the full game highlights instead of the full game. Because it's just hard to watch a full game of the NBA during the regular season. Too many fouls, too many commercials, too many free throws, too many. Now they do the replay. We gotta check the replay. Check the replay. So they start doing that. I'm like, oh. They started doing that in the first quarter now. Oh God. Like I said, man, I think I'm gonna wear this hat, get me a Nets shirt, and walk out for the Madison Square Garden on Thursday, do the social experiment, see if I get jumped or not. You hate the step back threes, Kayla Banks? Yeah, I mean, that's another issue with the NBA now. Now I hated the way the Boston Celtics played, Kayla, because they just jack up threes like no other. I know one team they missed like one game they missed like 53s, right? One game. Not this series. I think the series before. No, man. Matter of fact, not this series. It was the series against the Knicks. I think game 1 or something. I mean, even that's not great basketball. Or the 3-point shooting either. Now I don't want to come up here just complain about every single thing about. What I'm saying? So that's why I wasn't complaining about the amount of threes, because at least the Knicks and the Pacers, they don't shoot a crazy amount of threes like that Boston Celtics team was. But that's part of the NBA now, because the teams figure that they realize 3 points is worth more than 2 now. I mean, it's always been that, but if the players they practicing them so much, they're like, well, why shoot all those twos when we could just step behind the line and shoot the threes? But I still will argue that the tools is still a higher percentage shot if you practice them. You know what I'm saying? If you practice them, it's still a higher percentage shot than the threes. And I just like the variety of the type of scoring. But when you add the 2-point shot, the post up and post game, I think it's better basketball. I think it's more entertaining for me to watch. I don't know about you guys, but for me to watch, the variety, of the inside game, the post up, the fadeaway, the little teardrop in the paint, which players still do that. But I like the art of basketball. I don't like the chucking up of the threes either. I think James Harden was the worst at it. I mean, I liked Harden, but his Rockets days, oh my God. So I think you hate James Harden. You probably hate James Harden's career, Kayla. Salute, Drabonot. The New York Knicks problem is that the Knicks once. All right. The New York Knicks problem is that the city won the championship when they beat the Celtics, and they got to get rid of their bad luck charm, which is Spike Lee. Oh, the problem is that the city won. Oh, all right. So they celebrated too much once they won the Celtics. Are you saying Spike Lee is bad luck? But he gonna be in that garden. He gonna be at that garden, Tom, on Thursday. We'll see what happened. Yo, I watch almost every Rockets game. I just like seeing my team ball. Okay, so what up, Strill Life? How you doing? Strill Life? You go watch it. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess if it's your home team, if it's your own team, I mean, but I mean, still, I can't. Hey, I could watch them in a bar now. I'm talking about being at home by myself watching. Now, if I was at a bar outside, I can watch the games in the regular season fully. But I gotta be in a bar drinking some beers, drinking. You know what I'm saying? You know, in that type of atmosphere. Shout out to you, Real Life. It's crazy how nobody had a problem with Steph Curry and Golden State Warriors shooting 3-pointers. But that's the game but that's the game Steph Curry brought to the NBA. We don't even have big men anymore. That's in the past. Where we have big men, but the big men is not playing down low. They're shooting threes like Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? There's big men, there's 7-footers shooting threes like Steph. You know, it's over. Go Indiana. Now, no. Steph Curry and them. People be blaming Steph Curry. You know, ESPN they blame Steph Curry for the recent amount of 3-point shooting and this and that, and then especially with, and I think, but the other teams was like, look, this team is so dominant with these threes and killing us with those threes. We're gonna have to implement more threes in our systems. So that's why. So these other teams started implementing 3-point strategies to try to match the Golden State Warriors. That's what happened. And the Rockets were a big factor too, because they hired Coach D'Antoni, and they just was shooting up, jacking up threes like no other team. Also, and then other teams started following suit, and that's where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? Because that Rockets team, when they had Harden and D'Antoni, they would jack up probably more threes than the Warriors. You know, it was ugly basketball. You know, but and now this is where we are now. You know, but yeah, but the Warriors have been getting some flack and some heat for that. You know, but they won titles doing it, and they were efficient doing it. The other team just was trying to keep up with them. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, well, threes are worth more than twos. Look at the analytics. Why are we shooting twos when this team is killing us with the threes? And no, because you see people blowing 20-point leads right now on a regular basis, it's because of the 3-point shot. And when the Warriors, I used to look at the Warriors, and when Curry and around 2016, 17, 70-win team, when they were down by 20, they were never out of a game because of the amount of threes they shoot. Now it's like that throughout the whole NBA for a lot of teams, where none of these teams are out of the game down by 20 because of the amount of threes every team shoot. So that's what every team was copying. You know, remember when the Warriors are down 15 to 20, they were like, that's nothing. It's too early. They get down by 20 by like first half, third quarter, like, yeah, they could come back. Even the fourth quarter, they could come back easily because the amount of threes they shot, and they were efficient. So other teams are trying to mimic that, and like, well, the only way to keep up with this is to shoot more threes, and everybody started getting three happy. And Curry made it fun to shoot the threes. You know, he was exciting shooting them. It's almost like a like Mike phenomenon. You know, everybody wanted to be like Mike in the 90s. They didn't want to be like the big men like Patrick Ewing and them. They wanted to be like Michael Jordan. So you had the short point guard trying to be like Michael Jordan. You know, the taller guys, they were, you know, trying to be a little, but back then they still didn't allow the big men to play like Michael Jordan. They were like, no, get your butt down low. We could go in the post and this and that. They wasn't allowed to. Into like, more until like now, really. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Dirk, you know, well, yeah. I think Yao Ming wanted to play like Yao Ming. Y'all don't know Yao Ming had a jump shot. Yao Ming had a 3-point shot. They didn't allow Yao Ming to play like that. They wanted him to go against Shaq on the down low. They were like, you too tall. They did not like that tryout. Yao Ming was shooting threes when he came to try out and work out for the NBA teams. They were like, what are you doing? Shooting those threes. Why are you playing that way? You know, you too tall to be doing that. We're not going to allow that. So I think Yao Ming did fine adjusting his game to be a classic down low center. But that wasn't his game when he first came to the NBA. When he was, you know, showing out for the league, he was shooting threes. You know what I mean? Maybe 7 foot, whatever he was, shooting threes. That's like, that was kind of foreign. You know what I mean? I missed the post-up game. Yeah, I missed the variety, Sorry, I had to proofread a lot of my posts, typos. Yeah, that's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, Street Life. Respect to the Knicks. They have great players, but Indiana plays as a whole team, and Halliburton has been playing out of his mind. Plus, they forget Pascal is NBA. Oh, Pascal has been playing lights out, too. Pascal Siakam has been playing lights out. Yeah, 35 point triple double. Yeah, 15 assists and 12 rebounds and 0 turnovers. Delta Halliburton trying to prove he's not overrated. Called highly overrated. Yeah, yeah. They his own players, his own fellow players, called them overrated. Don't get me wrong. Steph Curry shooting threes is what changed the game. I don't believe you will have another American-born NBA MVP because the European players are so superior. Well, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he's black, but he's Canadian. That's the thing. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a black man, but he's from Canada. I think that's why the NBA was trying to push Anthony Edwards, American-born black man, to be the face, but it's looking like he's not going to even make it to the finals again. You know what I'm saying? And lose to the Canadian black man, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, I'm glad we got rid of Harden. He was the disappearing man in the playoffs. And not only now, if he disappeared, yeah, I mean, he was just your star, but his attitude about the whole thing, the way that went down, I had to get rid of him. You know what I mean? If he's gonna be doing that and just purposely not playing hard and stuff, that's when you got to get rid of the person. Now, if he kept playing hard and just kept losing, then I would have been, you keep him. He'd be like Patrick Ewing was for the Knicks. But once you start the Knicks got rid of Ewing. Eventually, he had to go traded him to the Sonics at the end of his career. So yeah, when the player starts having attitude and not really putting out and playing hard and doing stuff that's detrimental to the team, yeah, that's when you got to trade him. Yeah, a lot of people don't time in until after All-Star or tune in until after All-Star or playoffs. It's just cheap entertainment for me seeing my young squad go from bottom of the league to number 2 in the West. Yeah. Now I see why you said yeah. You got to proofread your yeah. Hey, yeah. No, whatever you find joy in watching, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just, it's just hard to watch some of these things. That being said, OKC in 6, says Delta. OKC has impressed me, but the thing is, I hated the fact they lost by 40 that game. I was like, what was that about? I don't like when teams do that. I hate that. I hate when a championship caliber team does that, knowing that they shouldn't have lost by 40. That's embarrassing. You don't do that. You go for a title. You guys are the favorites. Why add that to your resume that you lost by 40? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves losing by 40. Like, you could lose the game and not by 40. That just shows you didn't care about the game. I'm like. But you use some app. What are you talking about, Zed? Because your IRL is different from others, you can have guests. Yeah, I can have guests. I can have guests through the StreamYard. Actually, really through YouTube, you can have guests too. It's a certain way you can have it through the YouTube. Yeah. I just put this in vertical though, because in vertical mode, it just reaches more people that doesn't know your channel yet. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, I'm doing the off topic. I'm doing the Knicks right now, basketball. So more people are going to come in and out through the vertical because of the shorts feed this gets put inside the short feed. So that's why I do it like this. But I could do it to the regular YouTube, or I could do it to StreamYard. I do it to StreamYard because it's easier for me to drop the link for guests that come up here. But I could have just did this through the regular YouTube also. But I like the format. I like the way I can bring up the chat to the screen through the StreamYard also. It's different. It's just different. But both the same. It got to be vertical mode. I mean, I could do it horizontal, but I decided to do it vertical. Man, the Knicks banks are against the wall. I mean, backs are against the wall. Yeah, they backs are against the wall. Yeah, and like I said, it is what it is. They had an excellent season. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be disappointing. People gonna want to fire Coach Tibbs. I want to extend them. I want to give him a 5-year extension. You know what I'm saying? The lonesome traveler. You know what I'm saying? They got to think every game is a game 7. But the thing is, the Knicks fans in that stadium, they be getting nervous. They be too quiet. They be scared. They be scared as hell. You know what I mean? They be nervous. Don't let the media fool you about James Harden having a bad playoffs or disappointing you. The person who disappointed me was KD. Oh, yeah. Well, Harden has some great playoff games though. If you look, I seen his career. Harden has had some great playoff games. He really has. He has some great playoff. I've seen it. It's just those closeout games he kind of, that, and the closeout games is what people remember the most. And he had some awful, crazy turnovers. Because Harden used to do some weird stuff. His turnovers, what he used to do is bouncing with his foot, his knee. And it's like, wait a minute, you wasn't doing that during the other quarter. You waiting to do that now? It's like, what? Or you waiting to do that in the game 7? Now, a couple of the times with the Warriors, he wasn't going to beat that team if they had Kevin Durant. They went to game 7, but then Chris Paul got hurt. You know what I mean? Chris Paul is another disappointment. They had a chance to beat the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant, but Chris Paul got hurt in game 6. I'm like, well, the Rockets, they are in game 7 now to face Kevin Durant's Warriors team with Curry and Clay. I didn't expect the Rockets to win that after Chris Paul got hurt, right on time, get hurt right for game 7. So I don't know why people give Harden slack for losing that series. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't going to win that. I mean, he played awful too. I mean, but still, he did play awful and embarrassed himself. But I didn't expect him to win that once Chris Paul right on time getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? For a game 7. Man, Knicks backs are against the wall now. Said thank you for the $2. And like I said, I think I'm gonna go live from outside the garden with the Brooklyn Nets hat and see what happens. Social experiment incoming. The lonesome traveler. Harden didn't seem to be the same since Leonard put his shot against the glass. Oh, that block. Yeah, I like both of those guys out west. Ant-Man has to get the killer instant though. Get rid, and I thought he had it. Still life, but hey, he be all right. He'd be all right. Remember, LeBron didn't have no killer instant either in the beginning. He was way too passive, still life. And then LeBron just turned it on as he got older. He just started, at one point he just he became a gunner, shooting a lot, won a scoring title. Then he started taking the last shots and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, he got time. Anthony Edwards do have time. You know what I mean? I don't like he does talk a lot. He talks a lot. You know what I mean? Say a lot of stupid stuff, but yeah, the disappointment is that Phoenix team was where was Devin Booker and Bradley Beal and KD. That was a disappointment. Yeah, KD done ruined his legacy by leaving the Warriors. He could have been, he could have blended in and just nobody would have ever. I mean, people would have just been accepting it because he would have been kept winning the Finals MVPs. So it could have been looking like he was the savior. You know what I'm saying? But by him leaving and Curry winning another title without him, he ruined that. And then he should have stayed with the Brooklyn Nets, even if Kyrie was doing his nonsense and not playing. And Harden, he should have stayed and been the man on the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? And made some runs out here in Brooklyn instead of trying to join a team that just went to the finals, because the Suns just went to the finals. You know, right before he went over there. It's like, bro, what? Enough of KD. I'm off of him. I'm done with him. I'm done with KD. I seen that Chinese man, that 7'2" guy, and he shoots threes too. Nice three stroke. Yeah, 7'2" guy with a nice three stroke. Nice three stroke. I know. I know. I seen him. That Cooper Flag is going #1. I wonder about that Chinese guy with that 3-point stroke. Where he's gonna be like Victor Wembanyama. Similar style of play. Harden is washed up, says Ozzy. Yeah, Harden is washed. Harden is washed. Westbrook too. Westbrook, he's washed. Westbrook, yeah, he's washed. Yeah. I got a cold little, I gotta get some. I should have got some. I should have got some Theraflu before I came inside. Still life. I said gentlemen sweep once they won the championship versus the Boston Celtics. Oh, well, I just say, look, and before I get out of here, let's just hope Knicks fans get a good day out there inside the Garden, outside the Garden, and inside the Garden, Radio City Music Hall, wherever the people are going to be watching the game, and hopefully they do not allow the Pacers to celebrate with the champagne on the Knicks floor on Thursday. Least you can do is force them to celebrate in Indiana. Yeah, I'd be disappointed if I was Phoenix fan. Booker went from the hot kid to a nobody in a few seasons. People think he's a dirty player who is overrated now. Maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe he just had a couple of fluke seasons. It's real life. And Bradley Beal is stealing money, right? Overall. Did we really expect the Knicks to make it to the finals? Let's get serious. Well, yeah, because they had home court advantage going into this. They had the first 2 games in the playoffs. I mean, in these Eastern Conference Finals. So people just were like, well, they didn't expect them to lose both home games. Once you got the first 2 games in your home court and a chance to go to the finals, and you was up 14 points with like 2.5 minutes to go, and after game 1, yeah, we really did expect them to go to the finals. But like I said, they could have been up 2-0 at those first 2 games. Both of those games there for the taking for the Knicks. They had just as good a chance as the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers wasn't nobody's favorites to go to the finals. And really, the Pacers. Now I can see if the Pacers if they had the better record with the home court advantage. Anyway, well, they the favorites, but nobody was picking the Pacers to go to the finals. Eric Adams messed up everything, but the Street Signs, right? The Street Signs, Rob, aka BK's finest. He jinxed it with the Street Signs, naming the Street Signs after towns in them. Kawhi did the same thing as KD titles with San Antonio and Toronto. He just had to keep moving around. Yeah, they become journeymen. Real life. I'm new to the channel, and I'm from Brooklyn, East Flatbush, and don't know if you from there, but I feel like the Nets winning more in the city a few years ago would have meant a lot more. The thing is, I've been in Flatbush before. I'm not from Flatbush, but I know I've been to many Nets games when they moved to out of Jersey. out of the swamp to Brooklyn, Barclays Center. It would have meant more. It would have meant more for Brooklyn itself, the borough. But you get a lot of, embedded classic Knicks fans over the decades. You know what I'm saying? They just grew up Knicks fans. They just didn't really have a lot to cheer about, Rob. Over the past, decades, 20 years, 30 years. But they have been. It's a Knicks town. Definitely. It's not even close. It's a Knicks town. Now the borough of Brooklyn was making some strides with that, and the borough of Brooklyn came out and supported the Nets, especially when they first came, when Jay-Z was involved and all that, Bruce Ratner. But no doubt about it, it is a Knicks city. You could tell by the way they act, the media. It is a Knicks town. Because even when they got Durant and Kyrie, they were trying to get behind that, but not the Knicks fans. Knicks fans hated them. And it's more Knicks fans. They just been here longer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just it is what it is. I don't know if the Nets will ever get to that level as far as the amount of Knicks fans, because they're gonna have to be here like another 30, 40 years before that and start and be winning. Have some exciting players also. For them to steal Knicks fans, or because when your parents is a fan, they normally pass down their fandom to you. You know what I mean? But shout out to everybody watching. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm gonna wear this Brooklyn Nets hat in front of the garden on Thursday. See what happens. Social experiment. No, we're gonna keep Tibbs. I will extend Tibbs, Rob. I will extend Tibbs. First coach to have the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. I am not firing that guy. That'd be just another Dolan move. You know what I mean? Ungrateful. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sticking with it. Yeah, and I'm not trading Cat and Bridges. You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking with it. And I'm not getting rid of what got me here. You know what I'm saying? The grass is not always greener on the other side. You know what I mean? You look at the Nets. You a Nets fan? What's the guy name? When the Nets got KD in them, they fired their coach that got them to the playoffs. When they didn't even have Kenny Atkinson, they fired him. He goes to Cleveland. I know they got eliminated, but they had the number 1 seed. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And for Sam Cassell, the Knicks fans tell me they want Sam Cassell. Or Mark Jackson. Give them a chance. No. That'll be a no for me, dog. I'm extending Tom Thibodeau. 5 years, $100 million. Like I said, James Dolan, he throw away money anyway. You know what I'm saying? He throw away money on a guy that actually revitalized your team. You know what I'm saying? Got people chanting Dolan in a positive manner. First time in 25 years in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? Reward that guy. Nope, not getting rid of Tibbs. Watch out for Orlando and Detroit next year. Detroit versus everybody. Cade is here. Yeah. And like I said, OKC, really, to be honest with you, I had no faith in OKC, to be honest with you. I wasn't even watching OKC. But the thing is, they almost won 70 games. And that's the funny part. And I wasn't watching. So I had zero faith in them for a team that almost won 70 games. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ozzy, you said Tibbs is trash. Ozzy, the man won you. All right, so if Tibbs is trash, that means every single Knicks coach that has ever coached besides Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy is trash, because, for over the past 20 years, because nobody else has got the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody else, no other coach has, got the fans in a frenzy to have them believe that they can make a run to the finals in the past 25 years. We talk about Knicks ain't won a title in 50 years. So if Coach Tibbs is trash, that means every other coach besides Pat Riley, and you might consider Pat Riley trash because since he didn't win the title. You might consider Jeff Van Gundy trash because he didn't win the title, the big one. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, not everybody wins titles, but no, I'm keeping Coach Tibbs, and I'm around. You want, like I said, you want Sam Cassell? No, hell no. Then you guys, the grass is not always greener. The grass is not always greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? I think Tibbs is getting the best out of this team. I don't look at this Knicks roster and say this is a all-time great team. Do y'all? Brunson is great, but he's a undersized. He's short. He's a short, great player. You know what I'm saying? They don't, he's doing great, but Tibbs is getting the best out of these people, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta appreciate what y'all have. Even if they never win a title. Just them doing these runs is great for the city, great for the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to hire Patrick Ewing to be the coach? But I know all fans, you want to fight a coach once they get eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I've seen coaches win a title and they fired a coach. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee, that backfired on Milwaukee. I don't know why they fired their coach. I mean, he didn't have his second best player in Middleton, and they fired him. Just because they lost. I'm like, y'all are silly. Well, the players gonna have to they're gonna have to deal with it, man. Some players hated playing for Pat Riley sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometime or Larry Brown, when Larry Brown was on. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You got to keep your coach, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the side of the coaches because I'm not getting rid of a quality coach. Not in the Knicks. It's not like the Knicks have been winning. It's not like the Knicks are the Lakers and they have a history of winning and they can afford to get. It's not like they have LeBron James, because LeBron James, he would get rid of the coach, but it was LeBron James' system, really. You know what I'm saying? So the coaches come in there and play LeBron James' system. They don't have that type of player where it's a system, no, that's not. No, you got to keep Tibbs. You got to keep Tibbs. That's you got to keep Tibbs. Like I said, Knicks ain't win nothing in 25 years. This is the first time in Eastern Conference Finals, 25 years. You got to keep Tibbs. That's not fair to do that to that man. That's not fair to do that to that man. Yeah, Booker's chip on his shoulder was warranted when he balling. Now he don't get no calls of respect out there. Knicks can't even rebound the ball. Yeah, they be throwing the ball away, but also stupid Hart was god awful. Hart was god awful. You know what I'm saying? Every single one of them was trash except Pat Riley and Van Gundy. You are absolutely correct. Tibbs is not good for the Knicks. I don't know how he's not good for the. I don't understand. Like, y'all want Coach D'Antoni back? Now, Coach D'Antoni won a Coach of the Year with the Rockets. Y'all want to go back to jacking up threes and zero defense? I mean, I don't understand how a coach that's how is a coach that for the Knicks haven't won a damn thing in 25 years. How is he trash? I don't get your logic. I don't understand. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'm really trying to wrap my head. What do y'all want? Like, who do you want that's going to guarantee the Knicks win a title then? I know the Knicks are a title. You haven't won a title in 50 years. Who do you want? Who is going to come in here and guarantee the title? I'm just trying to. If Tibbs is trash, that means everybody who got eliminated out of the playoffs is trash. Every coach that's not playing right now in these Western finals and the East finals. That's not fair. That is just what? And I'm not going to go back and forth because I'm drinking right now and I just can't. I'm just not going to even. I can't. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did Tibbs win Coach of the Year before, even with the Knicks, like 2 years ago too? He's trash. You want Sam Cassell? You want Sam Cassell to coach a team? You want to give Sam Cassell a chance? All right, you know what? You know what? Knicks gonna lose 3. They're gonna lose. I'm done. You guys, you want to get rid of Coach Tibbs? Y'all guys want Sam Cassell? You want to bring back Mark Jackson? All right, give Mark. He ain't coaching 15 years. You want Mark Jackson to coach? Okay, maybe Patrick Ewing. You want Ewing to coach? Okay, I get it. Give Ewing a chance to coach. Okay. Oh man, what a disaster! Yeah. We're gonna debate one day, bro, about the Nets and Knicks. Hey, we can debate all day about that. You know what I'm saying? I know, my favorite Nets team was the Jason Kidd teams, the back-to-back NBA Finals teams. You know, J Kidd, boy, J Kidd. Now, J Kidd was that dude. J Kidd was a legit, intangible player. He wasn't the best scorer, but he was the best player on the floor a lot of the nights without scoring. You know what I'm saying? Josh Hart is a liability. Josh Hart was awful tonight. He like 4 straight turnovers, which just pissed me off. It made me hate basketball watching Josh Hart tonight. Josh Hart made me hate basketball watching him turn the ball over as much as he did. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you practice at all? Like, what, do you have any court vision? Who are you passing the ball to, bro? Maybe that eye really, his eye is bruised. Maybe that's affecting his court vision. Cause I'm like, who the hell are you passing the ball to? Hit that like button, guys. We'll be back live on Thursday to see how this ends. Maybe the Knicks extend it, maybe not. But I'll be covering it. The other car he bought, if the bench was boiling last night when he pulled Brunson out, the other car he bought, if the bench was boiling last night, he pulled Brunson out. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think he coached a great game the game before this game because he had to do offense for defense. Brunson and Cat was in foul trouble, so he had to extend. He played more people because Brunson and they 4 or 5 fouls, so he would substitute offense for defense, and they won the game. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm extending Coach Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hiring Sam Cassell. I'm not doing that. So. And Dolan should too. Dolan should do it. Go ahead and extend it. Don't play around with this nonsense. It's bad karma. Knicks have had bad karma for like 25 years already with nonsense. Giving money to people that don't deserve it, giving contracts to people that don't. This guy deserves it. First time, 25 years. He should be rewarded. At least a 3-year extension. And then if you don't make the finals, then you could give him the axe after that. I mean, I think that's the fairest way. Josh Hart, Hart is really not a star. He's an energy guy. Yeah, but he was just pissing me off, Yeah, I know Josh Hart not really a star. He's an energy guy. Knicks should have kept Hardenstein over Cat. No. I like Cat. Cat is a legit guy, legit star. I like that move just to get Julius Randle out of here. He was not that dude in the Knicks. He's played well with Minnesota. I'm pleasantly surprised, but I had enough of Julius Randle seeing his act over here. No, Cat won them the game 3. Cat won them. See, it's what have you done for me lately? Every game, every single night. Y'all watch these games. If a player don't win that game, y'all want to get rid of them. Y'all want to call them trash. Same thing with the coaches. It's like crazy. It's like Cat just won you guys. He just won Game 3. He just won. They were down by 20. He played like a big man. He won game 3 for you. Oh, God. Wow. But that's sports fans, right? I'm going to end this. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Salute to you, Caesar Blue 5. No, I'm not putting in Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson haven't. What has Mark Jackson won? Tell me what has Mark Jackson won? Everybody talk Mark Jackson. He is rusty as hell. He hasn't coached in 15 years. What has Mark Jackson ever won? For real, that's you get ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? The players ended up hating Mark Jackson or whatever. He had an issue with the management. What has Mark Jackson won? That's what I'm saying. Y'all are crazy. Yeah. I'm out of here, guys. Good luck to the Knicks on Thursday. We'll see what happens. See if they extend this series at the Garden. It's going to be a bad look if they keep losing the games at the Garden. So Knicks at least get this win. And if you go bow out of this playoffs, make it happen in bow out in Indiana and not in the Garden. Shout out to you guys, man. Salute to all you guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Salute, salute, salute. We will be back live on Thursday. Talking Knicks basketball. And hopefully we'll be talking about a 3-2 series now with a little false hope that they can win in Game 6 in Indiana and bring it back to the Garden for Game 7. Oh, those bets. Oh, well, yeah, I can't. Yeah, all right, y'all. Salute.